What's up, Buckeye Nation? Floco here from Ohio State Football with Scarlet and Great, right here on YouTube with my co-founder and great friend Shane, Sugar Ray Shane Larson, the Boise Buckeye, the game time guru. We're here to talk about a big game coming up. Shane, you ready, man? You ready to talk about this one?
I'm ready to talk about it. Don't know if I'm ready for the game, but ready as I'll ever be. So let's get it.
Let's get it. Ohio State versus Penn State in Columbus, noon on Saturday. This coming up Saturday. Ohio State's getting 4.5 right now. I'm sorry. Ohio State's favored by 4.5 right now, and the over/under is about, I think, let me check real quick, 45.5. I don't know what I'm going with that one. I think that's actually kind of fair right now. But, um, guys, big one coming up. Everybody's nervous about it. Everybody I talk to is just, because Penn State's a legitimately really good team this year. Ohio State is a better team than I think they're given credit, but they're still, learning the process as they go. Shane, what is your first thought? Because this is it. We've been waiting all these months for this. I mean, first it was Notre Dame, and then it was Penn State. What are your first thoughts, initial thoughts going into this game?
I'm oddly confident that we're going to get a W. So I'm confident in that. So I'll say that I'm oddly confident that we're going to get a W. However, if Buckeyes fans are getting frustrated with the games prior, like close games, I mean, get ready because I don't expect this to be a blowout. I think there's a reason it's a 4-point spread.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a blowout. This is a really good Penn State team that's playing really good football, and I think the 4.5 is fair. And I could see a 34-31 type win for Ohio State. I agree with you. I'm oddly confident we're going to get the W. And I'm oddly confident we're going to play a lot better than what our own fan base will give us credit for at times. Let's start off with the obvious. Okay, Kyle McCord, much maligned Buckeye quarterback from the fan base. So there's still a small contingent of people who are holding out for Devin Brown. I don't know. Look, I'm not here to. I've decided I'm not letting these people make me not like Devin Brown as much as obnoxious as they can be on the Twitterverse. But because Devin Brown's a good guy and he's a baller and he's going to have a bright future, I ain't even worried about it. But you know what? Kyle McCord's the guy right now. You may not like it, but he's the guy. And quite frankly, Shane, up until this point, all he's done is win and proven he can win. Notre Dame was obviously the big test that he pulled off at the last second. What do you expect to see from him against Penn State this week that will, will show you he's taking that next step?
I think what we're going to see is his confidence continues to rise. If people don't realize that, Corey, I don't know what they're going to like. They started him off throwing the ball last week. He's letting the ball fly a little bit more. We talked about it just the other day. There were some drop passes that happened, but I felt like he actually played a pretty good game. So I expect him to come out there confident. Now, one thing you cannot knock Kyle McCord for is his willingness to win. He wants to win. He wants to win the game. So he's a competitor. We saw that in the Notre Dame game. We saw it in the victory, the post game with Notre Dame. So I expect him to come out here wanting to win, and he's going to come out there ready to play. I'm confident in his ability to watch film and prepare for the games based on what I've seen. His execution will continue to get better. So I actually think he's going to play a pretty solid game. Don't be surprised if he's conservative because Penn State's defense is pretty solid. All right. So there might not be as many over the top big plays, but don't get it twisted. CJ didn't have a monstrous game either, like over the top big explosive plays the entire time last year either. I mean, we had a very close game until the very end, until JTT took over, So I'm going to expect him to play a solid game, play confident. I could see a 3-touchdown, 1 interception type of game from him.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the stats actually show that Penn State is prone to give up some big pass plays here and there. So
I think their line. I know that, but I think their line's going to get to him a little bit. So he's going to have to. I don't know. That's just my own thoughts, Corey. But maybe
could be. I mean, you never know. The stats going up into these games hardly ever mean anything because they're so evenly matched talent wise. I think Kyle's going to have a game where. Like you said, solid, steady, kind of up and down here and there, and it's not going to be because of his inability. I don't give a crap if, like you said, C.J. Stroud, who one of the best Buckeye quarterbacks of all time, he didn't light it up. I mean, he played great last year. I'll give him that because he actually stepped up and played really well. First year against Penn State and Columbus, he wasn't perfect or great. He was good. He was good enough to win. I think Kyle McCord will be good enough to win. I think that won't be enough for some people. The argument will continue to go. Well, Devin Brown would have won by 3 touchdowns or whatever, nonsensical statements people are going to make. But I think the fact that we have different ways to attack on offense is going to help Kyle McCord. If we get into the red zone and for whatever reason he's struggling, they got a great concept. We have the Devin Brown package we can move to. I think Kyle's going to play solid. I think he'll prove himself again. We'll win the game, but it won't be enough for some people. It'll continue to, be a continual evolution here. He's going to have to beat Michigan and win the Big Ten and go to the playoff for people to really start thinking he's that kind of guy. But you know what? Even if he's a game manager, like some people say, I'm sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. Even if he's a game manager, like some people claim he is, and I'm not saying he's Joe Montana, Brett Favre, Dan Marino, but if he's that game manager, you can win football games with game managers. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Shane, we saw an improvement in the run game last week. It was part scheme, but a lot of it down Hayden as well. I like the fact we were playing a gap and we're pulling guards, and tackles and whatnot. And I like that scheme. That it usually works for us, or the counter runs usually work with Trey Henderson. Let me ask you a question, Shane. What do you expect to see out of the run game against Penn State? They got a great defense.
I'm not sure yet. It depends on who's healthy and who's not, first off. But even with that, I would like to see us go more out of the shotgun and let the pass open up the run, similar to what we just did against Purdue.
Spread them out.
That just spread them out. Let the pass open the run. That's just we're not a power running team at this point, and we haven't proven it. And I don't think this is the week that we need to necessarily try and prove that. Maybe when we get to the Michigan game, possibly, but maybe not. I don't even know. Nothing's been shown to me yet that we can go hat on a hat and get some movement on the line. And I don't think Penn State's the team to do that with. Let them stack the box. No, spread them out. And then let your running backs like Dallin Hayden or, if Henderson's in, whomever is there, let them make the reads and get downfield. With that being said, you might not get a ton of huge runs, but I could see us chunking off, 4, 5, 6 yard carries come the third, fourth quarter if we do it effectively. So, do I think it's going to be effective, though? It's going to be a struggle, and it's really going to be dependent on how our passing game goes, in my opinion. If we can start hitting some passes, and they're going to have to start moving guys a little bit further from the line of scrimmage, get them out of the box, then I can start seeing us having an effective run game. If not, we're in for a long night. What about, or long morning or long afternoon, I should say. But what do you think?
Yeah, long afternoon, I guess. Yeah, or morning for you, really.
It's morning for me. I'll be on the West Coast, dude. It'll be 9 o'clock in the morning kickoff.
You'll be in Seattle, man. Oh my goodness, the Boise Buckeyes going even further west for this one. Yeah, I look, I think they're going to make Kyle McCord try to beat them, and they're going to stop the run game first. And quite frankly, I don't blame them for that strategy because I think we got explosive running backs. Everybody knows it. Trey Henderson could knock one off on you at any time. Dallin Hayden is that steady guy who can get 5 and 6 and 7 yards. I mean, I don't know if Ryan Day's still talking about he's going to redshirt, but he still is eligible to play 3 more games before he redshirts. So I think this is definitely a game you'd like to use one of those games to play. I don't know if Chip's going to pass concussion protocol or not. I don't know if Mayan's healthy. And I feel for Mayan. He's never healthy.
Yeah.
His style of play just doesn't lend itself to be a healthy running back. But if it's Trey and Chip, I feel very confident in that running duo. They get the job done. And if we're playing to our offensive line strengths, which, like you said, is not hat on a hat, just bulldoze people, you need to pull guards. You need to get find gaps. You need to go away from that power run scheme and then just do what works for you. Spread them out. It's worked for us. We got guys who are good in space and down can still get yardage and traffic and whatnot. So that being said, I agree with you. Going to have to pass the ball to get that run game going. Kyle's going to have to be on point. And Marv, put some stickum on your hands because you can't be dropping passes this game. Another little side note, think about Marv and Kyle going against a Pennsylvania team. Marv's already done it, but Kyle, who was recruited by Franklin, and Marv, who was recruited by Franklin. I think Kyle, their high school coach, is actually on the Penn State staff, I think. So it's a little interesting little narrative there if Penn State loses this game to a couple of guys that came out of Pennsylvania. But yeah, I agree. I agree with you. It doesn't have to be 300 yards. It could be 150, 175 yards, just chunk plays, 5 yards here, 6 yards here, and just keep ahead of schedule and keep the chains moving. I don't think they'll get to do it at first. I just think, as you said, if the game wears on, if Kyle's actually answering the call, all of a sudden you open up lanes. I agree with you on that completely. Look, but for any of this to work, the O-line has to pass the test. Again, in the past, James Franklin, to his credit, I don't think he's the greatest coach in the planet or anything like that. I think he's a good coach, but people, I think, overrate him a little bit. But he gets them up for this game every single flipping time. I don't remember a time against Franklin where I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna win 38-0. You know, this is just gonna be like, oh geez, another close one. I don't care how talented the teams are. I don't know. I'm not. This is gonna be the bigger test than even Notre Dame, in my opinion. I think they're going to bring a lot of pressure. We're going to have to pick up the blitz packages. They're going to come after Kyle when he's passing. They're going to try to keep us an obvious third down our obvious passing situation, third down. Shane, how do you think what does our offensive line have to do to pass this test?
They got to block. They got to do what they're getting scholarships to do.
This is what people are tuning in for.
I mean, that's what I know. That sounds simple, but here's the deal, Corey. If this is what I'm worried about, when we just rewinding what we were just talking about, we want to spread them out so that we can let our guys work in space. But if the offensive line simply can't block the guys they need to block, like let's just say they're not bringing extra dudes, but they're still getting through, which they historically have been able to do at times. Then we're going to have to bring in a tight end. We're going to bring in Stover. We're going to bring in a back to chip down. That's one less receiver out there in space. It's easier to bracket your receivers and have coverage schemes when you're bringing extra blockers in.
And they have solid corners. So
yes, that's what I'm saying. So like, that's what I'm worried about. Like, and here's the other deal. If you guys, we were talking about, we gave a lot of praise to Dallin Hayden. I want to shout out Zach Smith though, Minister Sports. I was listening to his thing and kind of watching his rundown of Dallin Hayden's, the issues he has in pass protection. That does concern me a little bit in this game if he does get in the rotation for this game, because if they do end up having to bring the back in to help the line, then we're going to have a pickle there, because we need the backs to get out in space to get, some checkdowns if we need them. So anyway, I'm expecting the O-line to be able to at the very least, hold their own, which I feel they've improved on in pass protection when they're not bringing extra guys. So if they're just going to be bringing a 4-man front, even a 5-man front, whatever, get them without the need for help, right? Form the pocket. And then on the running side of things, Corey, I hate to be a pessimist, but it's going to be based on how the passing game goes. If they can hold their own there, they're going to hold their own in the running game, because I don't expect the box to be loaded when we start running the ball. That's where I think if we can't hold our own, and I'm not 100% confident we will, it's going to be a long night. We're going to have to switch up some stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to expect with the O-line. They're like freaking, I don't know. It's Jekyll and Hyde kind of situation that we talked about with Kyle McCord. Well, that's how the O-line feels like to me.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think the O-line's pass pro is somewhat solid. I don't want to say like it's always there. I've seen, for all the people complaining about Kyle McCord backpedaling, he does that often when there's somebody in his face, which all quarterbacks do. Every single flip. I can show you highlights of CJ Stroud, mechanical wizard CJ Stroud, but most mechanical quarterback I've ever seen in my life. Step back on his back foot. Even you go back and look at his first touchdown pass against Notre Dame last year to Xavier Johnson. He had to step back a little bit because there was a guy right in his face, in his grill. Same thing with Kyle McCord at times. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying his footwork, but O-line needs to, if you're going to have a guy who doesn't backpedal and get off his back foot, and you really can't afford to do that against Penn State, you're going to have to give him room to step up. And then it's on him, right? If the pocket's, I don't want to say clean. I don't think it's ever going to be perfectly clean, but if there's enough of a step up lane there, there's a passing lane there, you have to take it. And Kyle can't get, a little bit, seeing his own shadow and just get off his back foot a little bit where he feels comfortable and safe. Because obviously throws are more in your hips than anything. So it's like it's hard to throw with your hip when you're off your back foot. But I think the pass pro is okay. I agree with you. Dallin's pass pro is a little bit concerning. I think you'll see a lot of Trevian just for that reason. I think you'll see the 80-20 rule with Trevian just being, well, why ain't you playing down? Because we're going to need to pass the ball, and Trevian can pass pro. And not only that, but Trevian could chip and then end up being a really good receiver out of the backfield. I hope we don't end up keeping Stover in to help block. We don't have a situation like that, because that just takes away a major weapon in the middle of the field, especially in the seam. if you're going to do that, keep G Scott in or something,
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
but as far as the run game's concerned, look, just do enough. You don't have to maul people. Just kind of redirect, redirect the defense line. When you pull and you're cutting off the downhill defensive end, just get them off of enough. Don't let them run free towards your running backs. Um, Running backs also, though, you got to make quick decisions. This isn't something you could dance around in the backfield. You're not going to have time to do that. They got an aggressive Manny Diaz is an aggressive defensive coordinator. They have an aggressive defense. You have got to just play off of that and get just enough. If we can get just enough, that's when you start to wear them down and take this wind out of their sails to the point. And later in the game, you can start to just pound them.
I
But
agree with that.
first couple quarters, you just got to get them just enough. You hear it on replay all the time, Shane. Oh, not a great block by him, but he got him just enough, enough out of the way. Just do that. I don't need you guys to be Josh Myers and Wyatt Davis and freaking Jonah Jackson in the middle there. You don't need to be that. You just need to be solid and give the backs a chance. So we'll see. I don't know if they'll pass the test or not, but that's key to everything on the offense. If they don't do it, nothing's going to work. That's just as simple as that. Shane, this is where we find out, is Jim Knowles' defense for real? We've been seeing good results all year long. I don't really want to hear anybody crying. I don't want to hear you come to me. No, it's just this team or it's just that team. Consistently, every game, he's held the team under 20 points, and he's done an excellent job doing it. This is the game we can point to. Good quarterback, good running game. They got a solid offensive line. This is the game you have to show up on defense. Can they do it, Shane? Can they do it better than last year? Other than JTT, can they do it better than last year?
Can they do it better than last year? We have a better defense this year. We're playing better this year. Penn State also has a better offense this year, in my opinion, with a better quarterback. Well, quarterback play thus far this season. Speaking of storylines, though, by the way, you're talking about Kyle and Marvin going over the Pennsylvania kids. I mean, Drew Allar is the Ohio kid playing quarterback. He's an Ohio State fan growing up. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool to see that.
First start against Ohio State. Yep.
There's some storylines there. But dude, if you look at again, stats mean everything, but he has yet to throw an interception. He knows how to get the ball out of his hands. Penn State's quarterback, I should say. And so this is where we're going to really need to focus in on like bend, don't break. I think we win by 3 or 4 points. You said something like 34, 31. I was going to say 35, 30. I don't think we cover. I think it's one of those games where it's 35, 30.
That would be covering
4.5. Yeah. Sorry. It's 35, 30, or I could see it being 35, 32 and not covering if they end up getting 32, but it's going to be close. I see us giving up more than 20 points. And I could honestly see Cory, and this is the thing. I'm not trying to knock on the defense. I could see this maybe being a game where we give up a 40-yard plus play, right?
Be the first time this year. Yeah.
Sky's falling down, but I could see us holding our own at important moments too. Will we have a ton of turnovers? I don't know. Do we get the first pick off of him? I don't know. Can our defensive line get pressure up the middle? Can our linebackers cover in space? They've got 2 amazing tight ends who can get down the field. Can they cover? That's the other question. Can they cover?
That's Sonny Styles and Proctor are going to be on call here.
Dude, yeah, we're going to be put to the test. But I honestly think while we might give up more points, we're going to stop them when we need to stop them, make the necessary stops. That just means our offense has to stay on point too. But I think the defense is going to show up, man. I'm actually excited to see them. I wouldn't be surprised if they put up more points on us, but I think our defense is going to play better. I want to know your thoughts.
I think for this to be a winning game for the defense, win or lose, the team win or lose. But if the defense only gives up 24 or something like that, I'll say that's a dang good performance by the defense. Yeah. Like 24 points, like 350 yards total, I'd be like, you know what? Defense did their thing. Offense has to answer the call and do a better job. In today's football game, college or pro, if you hold a team to 17 to 24 points, you should win you need to win the game. Because it's just the way the offense, everything's geared toward offense these days. But Penn State's going to be the only thing I don't want to see. If Drew Allar is making plays with his arm and guys are well covered, and it's just, it's what do you do? He's making great throws. Okay, I can accept that. Sometimes the guy just beats you. If we're just getting gashed in the run game, people are being blown away wide open and things like that, I'll get ticked off and, okay, our defense completely is lost right now. There's a difference between an offense playing well and a defense just completely lost. And we've seen it with Kerry Combs when he was defense coordinator, is the defense looked lost half the time. I don't see this defense looking, even when they get beat, they don't look lost. They just like, okay, they just got us that time, whatever. So that's what I want to see. I don't want to see if the defense doesn't look lost in the game, I'll think that they can get the key stops. Like, okay, if we're up 27-24, can't let them have a field goal in field goal range, and we're going to overtime. Can we get the stop? I think they can if they don't look lost the rest of it. Like, oh my gosh, people are just going right open down the seam. We're just everybody's making mistakes. My only concern, Shane, is the linebacker play right now.
Yeah.
It's just not up to par. Tommy's getting a lot of tackles. He's doing his thing. He's not playing All-American level, but he's getting a lot of tackles. Steele and Cody are pretty much neck and neck, and Cody's probably playing better right now.
Yep.
Guys, just forget it. You're not going to see CJ Hicks. Just please get over that for this game. He's not coming. He's not playing this game. For special teams, maybe. Cody Simon will play a lot this game. And I just wonder, like, if you're Jim Knowles and you're calling the rotation, or whoever's calling the rotation on the linebackers, do you just go with the hot hand? Like, Cody's playing great. Steele, I'm sorry, dude. You're just going to have to eat it on this game, So but you can't get lost. You're right. The tight ends and over the middle, the soft zones, you just can't get lost. You're right. There's going to be a lot of bend but not break. We don't want to give them big plays. You're going to get a little frustrated at the defense at times, trying to hold them to field goals when they get on our side of the field. I can already see Twitter lighting up. Look, they're going right down the field on us, and then they stall at the 30-yard line, because that's just how our defense has been. Do it. We need our defensive ends and line to get home. I don't think they will, but can we create the pressure necessary to put Allar into mistake territory? We have a more opportunistic defense this year. I don't know. It's a lot of unknown right now. But I think this game, you get 24 points, 350 yards. You can say defense did their thing.
100%. And here's my hot take on this. As I'm listening and I'm talking to you, this is all like off the cuff, right? I think the linebackers are in for a test. Here's my hot take. I think the first pick that Allar throws, holy cow, I can't pronounce his name, is going to be to a linebacker. That's what I'm going to take right now. I think one of our linebackers gets a...
Who's it going to be then? I got to take you. I got to challenge you.
Tommy's going to catch it. It's going to be a throw that's underneath. He short arms it, probably under pressure from, Williams coming up the middle. Has to get rid of it really quick. Dude, I mean, he's playing out of his mind right now this season, but this is also one of his moments where it's almost like that Kyle McCord Notre Dame game. You're on the road, tough environment. Let's see what he's really made of kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think he underthrows a pass. One of our linebackers gives it. I think it's Tommy gets the first pick of the season for him. You just wait and see. Mark this down right here.
All right. We're bookmarking it, everybody. And hey, I'm saving the clip for if it happens, the next show, we're putting this clip on here.
Watch, he just gets torched all game, and I just get shredded. Oh,
it's like, live with the dude, no, it would be great if he drops a pick six, and then oh, see, Shane, he jinxed him.
Please don't let that happen.
Shane, give us a final score prediction, man.
Yeah, I'm going 35-30. Actually, you know what? 35-32. I don't think we cover, but I think we get the dub. I think it's 35-32. We don't have any field goals. We end our possessions with touchdowns. 35-32, Buckeyes win. What about you, Corey?
All right, you can bookmark this and scold me if I'm wrong. I'm going to go ahead and call my shot. I'm calling it 35-24. Buckeyes cover, win by double digits. The defense shows out. Kyle McCord has a solid game. I'm not going to go ahead and say he has like some 5-touchdown game. Those 2 touchdowns, a pick, 296 yards on like 18 of 28. Run game is effective, 150, 160 yards. We get 2 turnovers, and sets us up in nice position to get scores. So, and we take advantage of it. I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
I love it.
All right, man. Shane, take us out, brother.
All right, guys. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Hey, check it out. Share this with all the rest of Buckeye Nation. We love chatting with all of you guys. So please comment. Let us know what you guys think about it all. And hey, we'll get ready for Saturday as Buckeyes take on Penn State. As always, everyone, come follow us. But God bless and go Bucks.
Go Bucks, baby. They're going to win. I'm telling you right now. Shane, they're going to win.